Thanks for tuning in to the July edition of Growing Gainesville. I'm Lesley Salman.
And I'm Pastor Allen. Thanks for joining us.
Growing Gainesville is a place where we are highlighting what God is doing right here in our own community through Christian leaders, business owners, and organizations who are advancing the kingdom of Christ in tangible ways.
Our goal is to encourage Christian leaders and business owners whose work and character exemplify Jesus Christ, and we want them to be serving their communities well. Today we're joined by Matt from Triune Entertainment LLC. Matt, it's a privilege to have you here with us.
Thank you. Glad to be here, both of you. Appreciate it.
Triune Entertainment produces theater and entertainment that is uplifting and encouraging to people and to the community. How do you choose the stories and things that you do in what you're doing as an LLC?
Thank you, Alan. That's a great question. I'm going to start with a very short story that's going to kind of frame things. It's a recent story because we started this company a little over 3 years ago, and we started it with no money, and we started it with nobody else's money. That's the key thing. We said we're going to build this business the way God wants it done. A little more than a year ago, we were thinking about doing The Prince of Egypt, and we would be the first company in the Washington area to do it, which is pretty neat, and MTI wanted to seal that deal. They asked us to do a Zoom call with Stephen Schwartz and Phil Zebnick, who wrote it. And they talked to us and checked us out, and then I got Phil's email so he could do some PR for us, and everything was fine. And then I started sending him some email, right? And I sent him an email asking if we could change some dialogue because the West End version had something that was a little nicer and a little more interesting to us. And he said, you never have to tell an author to put dialogue back in. So he quickly wrote us a bridge, and we got the rights to do it. Well, from that point on, I guess I didn't know he was checking us out because the night of the dress rehearsal for Prince of Egypt, which by the way went swimmingly, it was a great show. I'm very proud of it. I get an email from Phil who says, Phil is written a new musical with Pippa Cleary, who is the most published female composer in the West End, and they asked us to do the world premiere. I said in the end, after we had signed kind of everything and made all the agreements, I said, why us? Right? Why us? We're just this little company nowhere. Like we're just in, based out of Bristol. No one's heard of it. Phil says, we didn't think about anybody else. He said, because do you know how hard it is to find a regional theater company that's willing to touch a family-friendly show? And so I wanted to share that to get you started, because if you follow what he wants, he's going to keep asking you to do what he wants, and that's kind of the wild thing that we've experienced. And every so often, we'll be at a crossroads and we just say, what do we do here? And it's like, well, we got to look up because he's going to give us the answer. The word uplifting to us means connecting you to something bigger than yourself. Uplifting doesn't always mean happy. You can do a show that's sad, you can do a show that's powerful, but you need to do something that's going to ultimately uplift people. There's a lesson. There's something that they can become closer to God with, or closer to something bigger than themselves, and hopefully closer to their community. So we try very hard to pick shows that are that first, and then we also have to look at who our market is and who our audience is. And for the most part, our audience is going to be families. Not every show is perfect for every little kid. Like we're doing a show right now that I think wouldn't be understood well by children, but it's a good show. It's a show about hope, and of course we're never going to do anything that's outright blasphemous or over-sexualized or goes against the other values that we have.
How do you see your production strengthening the community of Northern Virginia?
Anytime you bring beauty somewhere, that's strengthening, right? Anytime you can show love and God's love, and you can show beauty to people, that's going to enhance your community. The idea was to create a company that bridged community theater and professional theater. So we try to take it a next step up. We try to elevate the experience, both in how we run it and organize it and run it as a business, and a functional business and an effective one. But the other, and probably the most important part of this, is the community is our customer. Right? That not the performing arts community, but the rest of you guys. And so we want to make sure that we're creating something that brings them into the room and ties them together. We want to create a space where people feel they can come and be a part of something big, and because that's evangelization too, is on the inside. You've got it on the outside and the inside. You got to do both, and to each other. As well. So
Triune Entertainment LLC, it takes vocalists, instrumentalists, creatives, gives them a place to refine, to learn, to be mentored, I'm sure, by your team and others as they work together. How do you see that helping give growth not only to the community, but growing that community of creatives and instrumentalists and vocalists, and giving them a home and a place here to continue to live and even build their lives?
We created something called the Emerging Artists Program. So we created a program for young artists who want to be able to go to that next level, who haven't had a chance or someone to give them a break. So there's a young man who's been assistant directing for me for years and doing all kinds of stuff for us. And we said, there's a show you really want to direct. Why don't you do it? We're going to run a place for you. We're going to give you a budget. We're going to give you numbers. We're going to do everything and build your team. And, I'll be at arm's length. I'll be here for you, but I'll let you succeed. I'm not going to, and it's been great. Build a space, right, where people can grow and also is a place that's spiritually nourishing. The other aspect of that term is we are actually literally trying to develop a space. We've been a nomadic, what we call a nomadic company for a while now, where we have to rent spaces, and that's been lovely, but there are limitations. So we have a wonderful team, but that's ultimately the next challenge for us. And I think the next thing he wants us to do is create something that's sort of a haven for family-friendly performing arts. And then every time we can't use it or we can't rent it out to another theater group, we'll rent it out to every dance studio that could never afford it. And then some other things that we really like to do in this space too to benefit the community is we'd like to, when I say employ, it's a 1099 thing, but employ developmentally disabled adults for the ushers and concessions and other non-skilled things that would give people an opportunity to have something to go to on the weekends and have some meaning in their lives too.
So is there anything we can do as the Growing Gainesville community to support you right now?
There's 3 things you can actually do to help our business grow. The first one is buy tickets. Come to our show is really, the second thing you can do is if you're a business, please consider a sponsorship. We are not a nonprofit, so you're not going to get a tax break on that. Recognize that. But it is great advertising. We have a lot of contact points. We have a very interesting audience in that most people who attend theater are very well educated, tend to be high earners, tend to have families, tend to need their cars fixed, tend to be looking for places to live, tend to be looking for luxury goods, tend to need a dentist. So the point is we have multiple sponsorship tiers with different advertising opportunities that the highest end tiers actually allow you to play a commercial before the show, okay?
Yeah.
We have a lot of options for you that will fit your budget, so that's the second way you can help us. Good. And the third is if you own a space you need to monetize or you know somebody who does, we would love that. And if you're interested in leaving a legacy, if you're interested in helping a group that follows your values and leaving a legacy, we're going to have some very interesting donation and matching opportunities for you that will not only give you visibility, but also peace of mind. Next season is so power-packed, okay? So we're the first, in October, we'll be the first group in the Washington area to do a show called Finding Neverland, and you may know the movie,
yes.
but the musical is just beautiful. And then we have something that we're doing in partnership with Allegro Art School in Warrenton called A Very Merry Cabaret. It's our Christmas cabaret that we'll be doing in December, and it's all the different Christmas musicals, but the song you may not remember from each one of those. Okay. And we have some of the best local talent coming out. And then we have, in the spring, Snow White and Me, which I've already referenced earlier in this interview, the one with Phyllis Ebnick, which we're very excited to premiere. So we have another premiere with another Broadway legend following that called Music City USA, written by Ellis Nassour, who was a publicist primarily in the music industry and on Broadway, but he was Andrew Lloyd Webber's publicist with Jesus Christ Superstar for 20 years. And he wrote a fantastic biopic about 5 women in country music in the 60s and 70s breaking the glass ceiling. That's a great show. And last but not least, there's a straight show, which we haven't done in years, a non-musical called Puffs. And if you don't know that one, Puffs is the 7 years of the Harry Potter story told from the perspective of the Hufflepuffs. So it's the ones that lost everything. We have a power-packed staff and team and a great season.
Yeah,
so please buy tickets, please.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today. It's always so encouraging to see how God's working through people right here in our community.
And thank you very much for having me.
Yeah.
And we're very grateful for the way that you're serving faithfully and making an impact in and through what you're doing.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hope we are. I hope we're living up to what he wants us to be.
Absolutely.
And for everyone watching, if you'd like to support Matt Moore and Triune Entertainment with everything that they're building, please check below for his information.
A big thank you to Tom and Paula Millar for allowing us to be here at Vita Nova. We love this space. Thank you guys so much. We also want to do a special shout out. Amy just got engaged. Amy is our producer, and she takes care of all of this. She does our video, and
we should just have the ring flash on.
Yes.
Here's the ring.
That's right. So, big congratulations to Amy and her fiance. We're so excited for you guys. If this was encouraging to you, please take a minute, like, share, comment below, and continue to stay connected to what God is doing through our leaders and business owners here in our community. Thanks.